Tubies! Haha, I'm so excited to be here with all of you. This is Lady Angela, and I'm so excited for this show. I am filming from inside my she shed, my temple. So what you see behind me is my altar all set up. And you see my cat. His name is Bitty, Itty Bitty Butt. He's my faithful familiar. He knew I was filming, so here he is. I wanted to say thank you all for all the book sales. The Psychic Bob book is going great. In case you didn't know, I have a book released. It is a tribute to Psychic Bob by Lady Angela Riddle. And it's gaining in popularity. It's getting quite popular on Amazon, on eBay, and on my website as well. And in case you didn't know, I also have an ebook version that you can download from my website of this book. And actually, I was going to put a coupon code out there for you all. Sorry if you see my breath. It's cold in my she shed right now. It's Colorado and it's cold. Anyway, so I put a coupon code on my website in case you wanted to get a copy of the tribute to Psychic Bob Hickman book. The coupon code is Psychic Bob Book. If you type that in, when you go in to add the ebook to your shopping cart, then when you go into checkout, there's a spot for the coupon code, and that's where you will enter it. And what it does is you can download your copy of the ebook for only $20. So save some money there, and you could get your hands on reading this tribute that I wrote. So I wanted to read you some out of the book today. You know, I had a lot of pleasure and joy in making this book, and boy, Bob's been with me quite a bit in spirit through the whole process. He's been with me pretty heavy here lately. Psychic Bob used to tell me that when a spirit first crosses over, that sometimes they're not available for like a reading right away, because when you first cross over, you're busy. You know, you got to get acclimated on the other side. You have your people there, your loved ones. You got to get situated. You're busy for about a good 6 months or a year, sometimes longer. And I'm telling you, over the last 6 months, Psychic Bob's been visiting me in spirit. He helped me in writing the book. He was with me pretty heavy as I wrote the book. It was quite a emotional process. And I'm so excited to share the tale with all of you. I tried to show his humorous side as well as his serious side, and a bit more of the human side as well when I wrote this book. So I'm going to read a little bit to you out of the Tribute to Psychic Bob Hickman book. You know, the cover photo is actually an image from one of Bob's altars. I just added a little bit more purple and a little bit more glitter. So let's see here. We only read a snippet last time. Here we go. Prologue, A Light That Stayed. When I try to explain Bob Hickman to someone who never met him, I find myself reaching for two kinds of language at once. One that records what happened, and another that captures the magic that glimmered between the lines. To truly speak of him, I need both. The language of fact and the language of faith. On paper, Bob was a minister, an astrologer, a psychic, a YouTuber, an author of spiritual books published through Lulu.com, and the founder of the Order of the Purple Cord, a fellowship that welcomed witches, healers, mediums, and seekers from all walks of life. I mentioned their Lulu.com. I'll put a link to that in the description below as well. Bob has about 4 or 5, maybe 6 different books that are published on Lulu. Some are some witchy books, some spell books. He has a Wiccan Way book. He has Psychic Bob Spirit Spells book. He has When Worlds Unite. He has a Fletcher book. He has a Rose book. That might be it, maybe. I think it might be it. But you could only get his books through lulu.com. The proceeds for that go to his estate to help his people that he left behind. So, and best of the very best prayers and wishes for everybody who was in his life that he loved, that I'm certain is still grieving the loss of such an amazing person as Psychic Bob was. And still is, as a matter of fact. I think it's wonderful that here on YouTube, his videos are a legacy. And it lives on. Even though he's crossed behind the veil, his videos, he has over 2,500 videos here on YouTube, on Spirit Channel. That's a lot of videos, folks. Okay, let's continue. But to those who truly knew him, especially to those who loved him, he was so much more. He was a doorway, a living conduit between our world and the realm of the eternal. He liked to joke that he had one foot on earth and the other one in the spirit world. But honestly, it felt more accurate to say he had both feet firmly planted in both realms. There was something about his presence that refused to let those worlds divide. Sitting across from him, you might catch him mid-sentence, gazing off to the side, nodding as if answering someone that you couldn't see. Then he'd turn back to you and with that gentle grin and he'd say, "Don't worry, they just wanted to remind you that you're not alone." People called him many names. Reverend Bob Hickman, Psychic Bob, Lord Ision, Marquez Bob Hickman, High Priest, Spirit Channel. But in those quiet moments when the candles burned low and the chatter faded, I called him what he called himself, just Bob. Being friends with a medium is to witness the extraordinary. Bet that. How the living lean towards them for comfort or clarity, and how the departed lean back through them with gratitude. It's both humbling and haunting to see love flow in both directions, such as that. His Spirit Channel on YouTube, now a living digital shrine, spans over 25 years of recordings, thousands of hours of videos, each a timestamp in his evolution. They trace the path from humble beginnings to spiritual mastery. Titles like Messages from the Spirit World or Psychic Development Class and Astrology Forecast for the Week mark both the rhythm of his days and the growth of his calling. Hey, tubies! It's Psychic Bob! His signature greeting still brings a smile and a tear. A bittersweet reminder of such a kind soul now dancing in the spirit world. When I rewatch those videos, I hear that warm, slightly formal tone and the pauses where he was truly listening, not just to his own thoughts, but to the voices just behind ours. In one poignant video, dated June 14th, 2016, he shared, "The spirit world is closer than the air around you. You breathe it in every moment. You don't have to go to heaven to touch heaven. You just have to be still enough." That stillness was his gift. It's how he lived, attentive, listening, and always aware of the whisper beneath the noise. I once asked him, "Bob, how do you manage to stay grounded when you have so many spirits talking through you all the time?" He smiled and replied, "It's like being in a lighthouse. The waves crash, the winds howl, but the light, it doesn't move. It just keeps on shining. The trick is to know you're the light and not the storm." Even after his passing, or as he'd preferred to say, his crossing, his light stayed. The channel continues to guide new seekers every day. People who find him by chance and stay because something in his voice feels like home. To write about him for publication, I must borrow both languages, the documentary and the devotional. Because Bob wasn't just a man you could summarize. He was a presence that kept unfolding even after death. A light that stayed. I'll go ahead and read chapter 1 to everyone. Again, we're reading Tribute to Psychic Bob Hickman, written by Lady Angela Riddle. It's available on Amazon, on Kindle, eBay, and also at rarewiccanspells.com.
You'll be seeing my order come in tonight.
Or by clicking the link down below. There is the paperback version as well as an ebook version. And feel free to use the coupon code below so that you could get the Psychic Bob book, the ebook version, downloaded tonight in your hands for only $20. No shipping involved for the ebook. My gift to you. Okay, chapter 1. The Awakening of a Seer. From 9 to 5 to the back table. I grin because I remember Bob telling me this story. And oh, he would giggle and I would giggle too. And I hope that you could visualize it the same way I had intended as I wrote the words down of this memory. It's beautiful. Bob Hickman found a tiny corner space at the back of a barber beauty shop in Alexandria, Virginia. It wasn't glamorous. A folding table, a single candle, and the faint scent of hair products in the air. Only by word of mouth did the business come in. But that humble corner transformed into a sanctuary for the soul. People lined up, down the aisle, and out the door, clutching $5 bills, eager for a chance to sit with the man who somehow saw them. It wasn't just that he told people what they wanted to hear. It was that he made them feel heard by something greater. I could still visualize him in those early years, his eyes half closed, one hand resting lightly on the table, his voice steady but soft. The air around him grew thick and charged, filled with the energy of the spirit world. Each person sitting before him was a bit anxious, yet bursting with anticipation, hoping for the message that would come through during their visit. I picture the line of people outside circling around the block, each hoping they would make it to the table before the magic man left for the day. Every one of them clutching their $5 bill, waiting their turn. Impatiently, no doubt. I used to tease him that line went all the way around the block. Double file. People all with their $5 bills in their hand or waving it, hoping to get up there before he had to go. Each person sitting before him was a bit anxious, yet bursting with anticipation. Oh, I'm sorry, I was repeating. Bob once described this experience in a later video. He said, when spirit comes close, the air changes. It's like a pressure, like a weight of love pressing down gently. That's how you know the doorway's open. That was in his video on Spirit Channel, How to Prepare for a Reading, May 2014. Those $5 readings became part of his origin story. He read for whoever came, office workers, students, soldiers, shop clerks, tourists. Spirit doesn't care about titles, he'd say. Every soul deserves light. In that small, ordinary setting, he developed the discipline that would define him. Patience, humility, and radical compassion. But Bob wasn't content to rely solely on natural ability. He believed that a psychic's gift was like an instrument, divine, yet in need of practice. So he sought training. mentorship from older mediums, study of ceremonial magic, and a deep dive into spiritualist philosophy. In one of his earliest blog posts from 2007, he wrote, "I don't just want to be psychic, I want to be responsibly psychic. The difference between a trickster and a teacher is discipline." And discipline he had. He kept journals of everything, noting patterns, signs, and recurring messages. He studied the writings of Dion Fortune and Gerald Gardner, and he meditated nightly at his altar, asking for clarity and connection to the spirit world. It was during one of those meditative sessions that Fletcher first appeared. Bob had long admired Fletcher, the famous spirit guide of medium Maurice Barbanel, founder of Psychic News. One evening during meditation, he openly expressed his longing. "I wish I had a guide like Fletcher." As he recounted in a later video, he said, "And then a voice said to me, warm, humorous, and very British. Well, now you do." That moment marked the beginning of a lifelong partnership. Fletcher became Bob's chief communicator, a wise, often witty spirit who served as a bridge between realms. My daddy, he's on the other side, and he's now my gatekeeper like Fletcher was for Bob. It's such a blessing, and I'm so grateful. Bob would later describe Fletcher as half mentor, half mischief maker, but all love. It kind of sounds a lot like Bob, actually, right there. Fletcher wasn't alone. Over time, other guides joined. Rose, a gentle presence often described as a healer and comforter, and several others whose energies were less verbal, but just as palpable. In the series Messages from the Spirit World, Bob often opened with the greeting, "Fletcher's here, and so is Rose. They send their blessings to you." For Bob, these weren't performances, they were sacred communions. He viewed his role not as a prophet to be worshipped, but as a trusted messenger. Bob was always very humble and a brilliant, amazing man. Spirit speaks through us because they believe in us, he said in Messages from the Spirit World, number 194, April 2018. Timestamp 6/12. They could deliver messages any way they want. Lightning, visions, dreams. But they choose our own voices because they love to remind us that heaven isn't somewhere else. It's right here. The little table at the back of the beauty shop soon couldn't contain him. His reputation had spread. Not through advertising, but through the testimonies of those he touched. People telling others that there was a man who read not only their thoughts, but their souls. When he began posting on YouTube in the mid-2000s, his reach became global. Those who had once stood in line at the beauty shop were now joined by seekers from around the world. His $5 table transformed into the digital altar of Spirit Channel, where anyone could pull up a chair. From those modest beginnings, a movement formed, the Order of the Purple Cord, a worldwide Wiccan and spiritualist fellowship devoted to truth, healing, and the light. Through every medium, channeling, reading, charts, or appearing on screens, Bob embodied what it meant to live as a seer in modern times. Humble, devoted, and luminous. The man who once sat behind a salon curtain now shone through a global veil. Still listening, still laughing, and still reminding us in his own words, "You are eternal and you are loved." That's not my prophecy. That's Spirit's promise. From Messages from the Spirit World, number 267. And so the awakening of a seer was never really about him waking up. It was about all of us learning to keep our eyes open too. There's my bestie right there, Psychic Bob Hickman. I love that statement. And so the awakening of a seer was never really about him waking up. It was about all of us learning to keep our eyes open too. I'm going to read the, it's a dedication poem I wrote. It's at the very back of the book. I wrote a wonderful dedication at the very back of the book. Dedication poem. A spell of farewell and continuity. By candles' flame and circles light, I call upon spirit in the quiet night to honor a friend both humble and true, whose work and heart still carry us through. Blessings be upon spirit channel's flame, a sanctuary living in Bob's name. May seekers find wisdom, may students be led by teachings eternal, by words he once said. Blessings upon the order of the purple cord, bound in service in spirit and accord. May discipline guide, may compassion remain, a lineage of honor through joy and through pain. Blessings upon his mother, tender and dear, may comfort surround her, may love draw near. Her son's light endures, though the body has crossed. No soul is forgotten, no legacy lost. Blessings upon Lady Cola in grief. May spirit bring solace, may time bring relief. Her mourning is sacred, her tears are a prayer. Her bond with Bob lives beyond earthly care. Blessings upon the legacy he built with his hand, a worldwide tradition, a teaching that stands. May his name be spoken, remembered, adored, forever inscribed in the hearts he restored. Bob, my friend, you were part of my story. Your struggles, your laughter, your quiet glory. You were one of the good ones, rare and profound. A soul of compassion where love was found. We knew you, we loved you, though you were just one. Your mark on the world will never be undone. So come if you wish, in dream or in flame. I welcome your presence. I'll speak your name. Until we meet again on the other shore, I'll carry your torch forevermore. By earth, by air, by fire, by sea, your spirit lives on eternally free. So mote it be, amen.